Hi everyone, it's Cindy. Welcome back to Tuesday 10 at Studioloo. So for those of you who are new here, Tuesday 10 is where I have grabbed 10 things from my basket of papers that I've hoarded, and we try to keep on working until we use them all up. So today I found one thing that's on theme with what I'm working on right now with my crow journals, crows and ravens and things. I found this page in my Tuesday 10 bin, and this has made me think a little bit about my Tuesday 10 bin. Like, hello, start going through it when you're creating a journal, because there's like 8 bajillion things in there and you never know what you'll find that will go with your journal. So that might be another way to help me in my ongoing mission to make that bin smaller. It's like getting there, but like I know I still have another basket that needs to go into it when it's empty. So I'm kind of like, are we getting any closer? I don't know. Anyways, it does give us this opportunity together to work on things, right? So that being said, I think I want to try, if I can, to create things for my crow journals today as part of this Tuesday 10. So we have this. What a beautiful page. Amazing book. I have lots of these little guys in my backyard today. They are enjoying the bird feeder, those little chickadees. I have this dark castle here on both sides. This is like from an old sketchbook that I found, like high school or something, and I like these scribbly trees, and I might try to do something with those. Here I was drawing a pencil drawing of some tiger lilies, so we'll try to do something with those. Then this is like a floral. It has milkweed on one side and these pretty flowers on another, and yeah, I want to do something with that. This is from an art design book. We have this cutie girl and we have a rooster. I suspect I'll use the rooster. This is a jelly print on a big old music page. This is another sketch from my little high school like sketchbook, and I think this looks very much like a little crow to me, so I'm going to try to use it for a piece of ephemera in my crow journal. And then I have a collage board here that has been stitched on, and then one of these pages that has beautiful lilacs on it from one of those Victorian photo books. So let's get down to business and see what we can do here. I'm still hoarse from this cold. I feel fine now. I'm going to talk like this for a while for both my pleasure and yours, I guess. It's just how it's going to be. Can I separate this page? I think I can. I think I remember that I can fully separate these. Not the easiest thing in the world, but we're going to just try to struggle through and see if we can. Is that going to tear? If we can wiggle the ruler all the way through, then I'll be able to do this. I've got the sharp side on the side I don't want to use. It's getting a little thinner. Okay, that's okay. I just want to thin it out a bit. It's a little thick. Maybe I can actually, I can actually split the whole thing. Why didn't I do that to begin with? Yeah, okay. Just gonna tear off whatever we can get off of this thick backing. So tell me how you're doing. I am in a really great mood because tonight I am, well, the day that I'm filming this, I will have already gone and come back by the time you see it, but I'm going to see Bruce McCulloch tonight. He's doing a comedy show, and I'm going to go see it because I am a huge Kids in the Hall fan. And I love Bruce McCulloch. I think he's hilarious. Certainly Canadian royalty. And let me know if you're a Kids in the Hall fan. You've got to have an offbeat sense of humor for sure, because they are really funny. My husband and I, when we met, that was another thing that we connected on, was our our joint love of Kids in the Hall. He really loves, you know, we both are very into comedy and senses of humor, and it's something that brings us very close together in terms of our interests. And he always enjoyed Mr. Show, where I was a big Kids in the Hall fan. Okay, there, we've gotten that to a nice, thin, workable kind of size. So now I'm going to chop it down to something that I can use here. I want to use the frame, obviously, and I want to keep as much of the beautiful lilac in frame as I can. Okay, so that'll be a nice, I think, journal card size. We can probably trim a little more just to make it like fit in a journal, right? That's the objective here. Let's get any little bits off. Okay. So today I'm going to have a little bit of an easier time because I'm going to use my my bin that I have of like crow and raven things to feed my stuff I'm using in journals. So I've got this big huge mess I've got to sort out for a second here. Let me just pull my messy all things crow journals bin over here. Ay. This is what happens when I'm looking for all the things to put into these books, is I have all this. It's really a situation. Okay. These are pages for one of the journals. Currently both of the covers are drying, so I've got to wait on that. I did a bunch of really messy mixed media this morning, and that was fun. And then I cleaned my whole desk with nice hot water and soap, so it's had a nice clean and feels very fresh. Orange oil and all that nonsense. Okay, so where is what I'm looking for? There, paper dolls. I think that's what I want. Down here. Okay, where'd my lilacs go? Oh, these might be good. Hold on. Would those cuties, they could even pop right on through. Yeah, I think they would go well with this. Okay. Yeah. Alright, let's get this out of the way for, but actually, why don't I take all the little bits, maybe, things I can grab if I want to use, and put that on top so that I don't keep having to redig this pile again, because I know I want to use stuff from it. Okay, so it's going to go back where it came from, and we're going to work on this cabinet card kind of thing. I just need some background here. So I'm digging scraps. I'm going to pull my scraps over here. There we go. Oof, there's a nice piece of paper that I can use as background. I won't even really need a whole lot of background, but I do want to, with my little scissors here, cut out a bit of this. Okay, and then I got this little fussy cut like secret. So this is an alcohol ink Desserts Tango marker. It's WG01, DMB WG01. It's a double-ended marker. I know Tombow makes a similar color, but what it is like a light tan kind of color. And what I got it for, it has a brush tip and it has a pen, like a marker tip. It's like a light tea dye kind of shade that I can use on these white edges, especially like on the insides, you know, in here, to kind of blend in anything I'm cutting out to go with a lot of the old paper that I use in my projects, right? Or, you know, when I don't want that bright white. So hopefully you can see there how that toned that completely down. If we compare it to, say, like this white, that's not even white, this is a little more white, like you'll see that it's toned down. And it's also light enough that if you go over even something light as a Caucasian skin tone or even this very white hair, it doesn't impact it in any way. So it's a nice little way to, like, you know, save yourself the drama of fussy cutting. Like maybe I could have just not even cut that piece out. I could have just gone ahead and let it be. So what I'll do now is I will glue these guys down to this Rose Eco paper, boiled book paper. So it's a rainy day here today. I was thinking of like going out somewhere far with the kids, but I want to not do that today because it's rainy, and also I feel kind of like I just want to maybe have a creative catch-up day, and the kids are really entertained in their own elements completely because my daughter got a new game, and my son, he got something really fun. He's in love with these marble tracks. Okay, so how to explain what it is. So imagine this great big like set of tracks that will hold a plastic marble about that big, and you click them all together. It's called like Marble Run or something, and you click them all together like and they stay really well together. It's like a building block kind of set, but specifically for Marble Run. So he has had in the past like one of the old kind of wooden ones, those marble tracks, and he loved those, but like he really loves this one. So we had got him one for Christmas, and it was funny because he was in the store with us and he saw it, and the box was like as big as him, if not kind of bigger, and you know, relatively heavy for a little guy. And he picked it up and decided like he was getting it. So at first I was kind of like, whoa, you know, this is a pretty big thing, and I had already kind of finished my Christmas shopping. I was like, okay, like I was there for something actually for a friend's child, so you know, you try to make that rule like we're not here to shop for ourselves, but like his, you know, his determination, how he loved it so much. And I mean, he's 3, he doesn't know about, you know, all of the rules of buying things or whatever yet, and I'm not trying to be like mean. So I said, it's fine, he really seems to like this, so we'll get it for him. So, you know, we got it. He put it in his own little cart that he had that he was pushing around. So, you know, he had this little tiny cart with this giant box in it. So then we get it home, and you know, I just kind of put it away until the holidays, and I wrapped it up, and he opened it on Christmas morning and immediately remembered, like, hey, that thing that I picked out, you know, because kids have that kind of memory where, like, you know, something can be important for a minute, but then they forget about it. So that's what had happened with that toy. But then as soon as he saw it, he was like, all right, Christmas is done. Let's do this, guys. So we had to build it for him, like, right away, because he just would not, like, stop bugging us about it until we built it. So we built it, and that's what he played with for the rest of the day, and he just loved it so much. So he got a little special credit for March break that is part of a program that he's doing, and he got like a bit of money from this program for basically March break. So he was able to spend it in a few different ways, like a program or whatever. But where he's going to school, they actually don't have a March break. It's a little bit of a different kind of program. So he I had said to the people, I said, well, I don't think he can use it, like so, you know, you can probably pass on this credit to somebody else. And they said, well, you know, you can also go ahead and use it for a big ticket item that, you know, he might enjoy. So I know, like, he's going to need a computer eventually, like a Chromebook, because they use a lot of Chromebooks in school these days for kids, for different kind of language programs and other things like that, like games that teach them things, right? So I thought I'll get him a Chromebook, and then I had a little bit left from the credit, so I was like, you know, I asked my husband, what else do you think, you know, he might want? Like, I can't think of anything. And within a second, my husband sent me this other marble track thing. And I was like, oh my gosh. So it goes with the one that he has, which he still plays with every day. He loves it. And where's my kneaded eraser? I have a little glue on there. And so now he has both of them. So last night, while we were all, my son was asleep and my daughter and I were watching a movie in bed, my husband was down at the kitchen table putting together this new marble track. So my son woke up this morning and like he had been watching videos about this one. You know, he didn't have it, but he watched videos about it because he somehow found, you know, on YouTube that they have these videos. Where is my kneaded eraser? Holy moly. Look at all the junk in here. Oh, there's my headphones. I was looking for those. Let's just take those out of there. They don't belong in there. This is supposed to be all my frequently used things. Some of these I think can probably get out of here. That can go in the punches. Probably that can too. And those. I don't see my kneaded. Oh, there it is. It's behind the bin. Go figure. My goodness. So anyways, so he's playing with this new track now. He loves it. And so tonight my husband is going to, I don't know that he necessarily understands like what's happened, that he has a whole new track. I think he does, but you know, I don't think he realizes that now we can put them together. So that's what my husband's going to do tonight, is he's going to put them together for him, both of them. And we're going to have this giant marble track. So my rule is like no more big giant toys. My parents got him, well, both my kids. I mean, none of the toys belong to one of my kids. They both have like access to everything in my house. So like my parents got them like a car track for like the last holiday, and it's in my living room. Like, oh my gosh. But you know, I feel like one of these days I'm going to get my house back, so I'm not going to stress about it. It's okay. All right, I think that's done. I mean, I could come back with some words here, but I think I would want them to be something about crows. And I don't know if I have, like, I should probably try to make, I might make a page of quotes about crows, and I'll have that, I'll print that out for my journal maybe. Yeah, I'll probably do work on that digitally later today, so I'll just let that be for now. So let's get into the next thing. Let's just make something with this little drawing that I did. Oh my goodness. I've been going through old sketchbooks and trying to like think of ways to make them useful and use up some of them. Some of them I just leave alone because it's nice memories to have, like art school kind of stuff. Especially programs I've taken in like the last 10 years. I like to keep that kind of thing because it was all like part of my journey here. Okay. Just pack that with some nice paper. I got this really heavy, it's like light cardstock, but heavy paper. Yesterday I went and did a little thrifting with my husband, and I got this huge stack of it. I'm not going to show it in my thrift haul video probably because it's just a stack of paper, but it was at our recycling center. So that made me very happy. Okay. Then move those scraps out of here. I think this one I will round the corners. Just a fun little pencil sketch. Oh my goodness. Add a little ink around the edges. every now and then it's nice to find this kind of art that I've drawn from a long time ago to include in books. Just kind of a little personal bit, you know? Then what are we gonna do next? I think I want to use this, and where is that page of these guys? I want to use these together. I think I can probably get like 3 tags. That's a great background for crows. Okay. And I think the ones I'm going to use are these guys. I don't know where I put my regular scissors. I think they're over on my other desk. Okay, so this will cut out. So this is an illustration by someone with the last name Crosby from 1963. I remember it was a really big bird guide, and I've like used the majority of it. So what I do, one thing I throw into my Tuesday 10 bin is actually kind of the remaining pages of my my books when I've used the majority of them. So that's where all like the book and magazine pages kind of go into when I've pretty much gone through most of something. Okay. One. We'll just check which one he works best on, maybe. I like him on that one. Because there's kind of like this like circular pattern here that his foot just rests on nicely. So I'm going to grab some scraps. My scraps are such a mess right now. Oh my goodness. Let's just set them on top of my empty garbage bowl. Okay, so let's collage a little, because I think I've got some good stuff for collaging right now. Yeah, that would be good. And we're going to glue as we go. Okay. Okay. Yeah, I'm going to put that a little crooked. That's fun. And why don't we take the remainder of this scrap in an effort to like just use things up, and we'll build backgrounds with these other 2 pieces. Okay. So yeah, let's build these, and I don't even need to see my focal point to know like that what I'm doing is what I want to do. But I might take a walk today. I want to see if anything is blooming that is in my region. Take a nice walk somewhere, because I don't want to stay in the house all day. That would be not good for me. Be a little of this old music. The other way. Okay. And this one. Alright, so that makes that background a little more interesting. Let me get my bird. Yeah, it was this one I wanted to put it on, right? Yeah, okay. Yeah. Alright, let's glue that down now. So I was watching this video this morning. So I follow this channel on YouTube called Soft White Underbelly. It is a creator. His name is Mark Leda, and he's really cool. He's somebody who documents a lot of the human experience, and like I really like him. He's somebody who's done a lot of charitable work for a lot of people who, you know, have had pretty unfortunate upbringings and difficult circumstances in their lives. Maybe I'll link his channel below in this video, but it's Soft White Underbelly if you're not familiar. I'm sure probably you are. He's certainly a much larger channel than me. But he's just a lovely person, and so years ago he ended up doing, like, he does documentary interviews of people, and he's published books. You know, his whole thing is sort of showing like America's soft white underbelly, which is the whole, you know, premise of his channel, where he shows that people, you know, you may have your assumptions about people, but you know, because of what you see, like maybe you see an addict, maybe you see somebody who's in a line of work that you wouldn't do, or that you've, you know, felt that you don't agree with. But then he shows you who they are as a person and why, you know, their circumstances are like they are. And he allows them, most importantly, to be heard. And I think his work is really, really important and very inspiring. I've got these labels. I want to use one of these labels. So he posted this video that I saw like just a few days ago. And so years ago he did an interview with this family who are, they're from West Virginia. They are, I'm trying to think of the right way to say this. I would say intellectually disabled with a complex genetic history of family intermingling. That's what I'm going to say it as. So as a result, you know, they have pretty hard kind of lives out in the mountains of West Virginia, where it's already not too much of a picnic to live there. So he reached out to them, he learned about them, and he has helped them. He has raised so much money for these people. It's like amazing, you know, through his community outreach. And they're not the only ones he raises money for, but they are one large group that have, they're a group that have really largely gotten a lot of money from him. He did a GoFundMe for them to help with just kind of improving their life, being able to help with their life expenses. And then they had a secondary goal of getting a better house, because the house that they live in is kind of like a falling apart, you know, generations have passed down kind of family farmhouse that's now probably past very easily livable condition, right? So he wanted to set a goal to be able to help them to buy a house, and they want to buy the house that's actually like across the road from where they live in West Virginia, because they don't want to leave, you know, their familiar, you know, neighborhood kind of that they live up there in the mountains in, and that's what they've always known, right? Which is understandable. So the house is, to my understanding, $200,000. It's a little overpriced for what it is, and that's also expensive for West Virginia. But You know, that's what they want, and that's the goal that he was trying to accomplish for them. But, like, you know, the whole thing with trying to raise money, first of all, you have to pay taxes when you raise money on GoFundMe. A lot of people don't know that, but you do. And also, you know, when somebody has ethically created a GoFundMe, the money belongs to the people who it was raised for. So what started to happen was that, you know, Mark from Soft White Underbelly, he's always done a very good job of protecting the whereabouts and the identity of not just this family, but also everybody he interviews. You know, he gets a lot of communication sent to him where people are asking for the information for certain people because they want to help them. But, like, you know, you've got to be careful. That's a slippery slope, because a lot of these people are, you know, like, what's the word? Like, vulnerable. So he doesn't give out any information on these people ever. So I guess an exception was made because there is this other YouTuber named Tyler Olivieri or something. I'm not a fan. I was not a fan before this, but he wanted to reach out to them because he said he was doing a documentary about the poverty in West Virginia. So basically, like, Mark, you know, I think he cleared it with them because this guy and his team seemed to have the right, you know, idea in mind and whatnot. So anyways, you know, you try to have the best intentions, I think, you know, but he ended up going to West Virginia and making his documentary, and I say that very lightly because my opinion is that he is not a journalist, nor does he seem to express much in the way of research, and that is my opinion. So he ends up going to their house and he makes this whole video about it, and he starts to question them about the money that was raised for their family. And as I mentioned, they are intellectually disabled people who don't really understand the concept of money. So basically, he framed this whole story that it appeared that, you know, this money that was being collected in the GoFundMe couldn't be accounted for. And he made accusations against Soft White Underbelly and Mark Leda that this money was, you know, being stolen or kept from this family. So essentially, I mean, what a bold thing to say. Like, in my opinion, that is certainly defamation, and again, my opinion only. So basically he, you know, starts this whole hullabaloo about Soft White Underbelly, and then it gets back to Mark, and Mark just made a video essentially, you know, telling the truth and debunking this whole entire nonsense, you know, and he's very upset, as any of us would be, you know, when you've basically done so much for somebody and to see it go that way. So basically he explained what happened, which is that the first GoFundMe was to raise money for, you know, the life expenses and the things that that family was dealing with, right? Like not having a vehicle, not having food, not having clothing, you know, needing care, medical care, etc., right? Different things that they need. So what happened was around $55,000 had been raised in that GoFundMe and was handed to them. The way that they would receive money was through various phone calls. They would phone them and say, hey, we need this for, you know, so like one of us, you know, wrecked our car. We need a new car. You know, oh, we need food. We need to fix something. I need the money. And so what's he going to do, right? It's their money. So he gives it to them. But then when he created the second GoFundMe, the intention of it was to raise money to buy them this house across the road that they really want. But the problem was that even though he explained to them, okay, now we're saving with a goal, right? They didn't understand, at least it seems like they didn't conceptualize that, you know, the tap will run dry if you keep taking from it. So he ended up sharing that, you know, this continued and it impacted the house fund that they were putting together. And he shared bank statements showing all of the transferred money to the family, when and how much, and it was like to the tune of like $100,300, I think. So not a small amount of money. So essentially, he then, you know, he's quite upset. He's actually canceling all the GoFundMes associated with the family, and I really truly don't blame him. And it's not because he's angry at them or, you know, he's like being vindictive. That's not what it is. It's about the fact that, like, he's in a really tough spot, right? Like, I thought about this because I've had much more small, minor situations in my life that remind me about this, that when you're responsible for something, you almost become like, you know, the purse holder, but like you're not a conservator, and, you know, it's not yours, so you can't say no, you know, when they ask for something because it's their money. But, like, you know, you're in this position where, like, you see some, you know, this whole thing being depleted, and there's not a whole lot that you can do. So he's kind of throwing the towel in that way on that, because, you know, there's other things that he can certainly focus on. So he's helping them in some other ways, but he's no longer going to publicly share what his charity is, because that's kind of a dangerous thing to do. So since then, the whole thing's been debunked. Betty Whitaker from the family has spoken on camera with Mark to, you know, somewhat acknowledge that, oh yeah, we were getting money, but, like, they didn't understand the difference between the money they were getting and the house money. And also, Mark gave a lot of his own money to this family to just help them, because the fund ran dry some time ago. So since that time, Tyler Olivieri has made another video to respond to Mark Leda, you know, and he started his own GoFundMe where he has, you know, donated $10,000, which is measly compared to what Mark has done, you know, to it. And he's like, let's buy these people a house. Like, to me, it feels very much like, oh, I can do this better, right? And, you know, he's a young guy. He seems to have quite an ego, in my opinion. Again, this is all my opinion. And so, yeah, now this whole thing, I guess, is going to become his problem. And I don't wish him good luck, because what he's done is absolutely treachery, in my opinion. You know, it's one of those things, right? Like, no good deed goes unpunished. Like, I was so annoyed to hear all of this, knowing that, like, Mark has helped so many people, but most of all, he's like one of the most inclusive people who gives a voice to people in a way that doesn't, like, take advantage of them, but lets them be heard. And, you know, yeah, it was just really annoying to hear that something like that could happen. I'm like, what? But that's the way, like, YouTube can be sometimes, you know, like, if you ever hear the term clout chaser, you know, it's like somebody who will chase after another YouTuber who's popular and try to, like, ride their coattails, you know, it's that weird kind of thing. And, like, it's funny because the only time I'd ever seen anything about this Tyler guy was, like, he made this video or series of videos where he was, like, essentially what seemed to me like harassing this group of other popular YouTubers that had, like, their own kind of vacation together or something. Like, he was showing up at all the places that they went, and there was this big kerfuffle in a hotel, and a lot of other YouTubers were reporting on how it seemed like he was, like, trying to set up drama that just wasn't even, like, legitimate, you know. And, like, I don't know, it all seems very immature to me, but it's also kind of entertaining to listen to. But now I definitely feel like this is more than, you know, petty entertainment. It's actually, like, in some ways, it's ruining people's lives. Like, as a result, you know, the Whitakers will have lost like, you know, the funding that had been set up for them, you know, to continue, because it's now become so complex that Mark can't do it anymore. So yeah, it's kind of sad, and I thought I would talk a little bit about it. I'm not like, you know, a drama channel obviously, but like, I think it's good to know a little bit about what's going on in the on the platform that I choose to share my content. Because yeah, it's important to me to understand what's going on and just point out when things are yucky. And for me, that was pretty yucky. And then the funny thing is, like, the GoFundMe that Tyler set up, when I looked at it yesterday, so he had done the $10,000, right? The try to get myself out of this hole money, in my opinion. And then he'd only raised like $16,000, and all the comments from the people donating were all people who were donating in the name of Mark Leda and Soft White Underbelly to try to appreciate Mark for all the, you know, help he's done, all the work he's done for both that family and just in general. So the only reason that any money is even still being raised is because of Mark. So yeah. What do we want to do with this piece? I think I'll round the corners on this one, because we just made tags, so now I'll make a journal card, I think, with this one. I need to straighten the edges a little, maybe, though. They're a little wonky. So yeah, hopefully you don't mind me sharing my little weird YouTube jaunt that I took yesterday. Sometimes I think maybe I should go back to Patreon, probably, to see if people would be interested in hearing these kind of social commentary things that I do from time to time, rather than doing them here in the wild. I don't know if everybody likes that kind of thing. But, I mean, at the end of the day, it's all important kind of interesting stuff to know about what's going on in the world with people socially. And then in brighter, nicer news, I was watching this like really cute documentary last night with my daughter, and I wish I had captured where it was from because it was on YouTube. But it was about a group of scientists who were traveling somewhere, and they were all these cool like experts studying these little insects called tree hoppers. And oh my goodness, if you're ever like looking for something to do and you're a little bored and you want to like learn about something, tree hoppers are such a fascinating insect family. So they're super diverse, but they're kind of like the Pokemon of insects. Like they all have really cool looking like features where they almost look like something else, like they're mimicking something else. Like they all have these little, you know, legs and kind of a little insect body, but then on the top of their body it's something totally weird. It might look totally like an acorn but kind of psychedelic with like bright red colors. Or there was one that almost looked like a skunk. It looked like it had a black feather on top that was black in the middle and white on both sides. Like they are such cool creatures. So check out tree hoppers because they're really interesting. Okay, that one's done. Okay, we are moving through, I promise. Let's go to the pile again of things that we're supposed to use. So why don't we go ahead and make something with the rooster. That'll be the one thing that's not going to go for sure into my journal, because it's not related to crows and ravens and such. But it's really neat. Just remove this bit here. I don't think I'll use this for anything really. I'm not keeping every little scrap these days. I'm trying to wear my scraps down because, oh my, they're crazy right now. You can accumulate so much stuff so quickly when you do paper art. Oh yeah. I think I might just probably dump half my scraps in my recycle bin as an exercise in like letting it go. I usually do that at the beginning of each year. I'm like, okay, you know, we've had a year with you guys and let's take the bottom half and get rid of it. But I haven't done that yet in 2024 because I'm being rebellious. Oh, I love these scissors so much. These are actually fabric scissors. And I have a pair for my sewing machine and my fabric and all that. But I bought this pair to be a crossover for both fabric and paper at my desk. And it feels so rebellious to be using them on paper. Very rebellious. But that's what they're actually for, so it's okay. Right, that one I think I just want it to be like that maybe. I might add, if I have a good scrap, I'll add a little something to it. Just like a little, oh, that's cute. Curator's collection. Maybe we'll cut this out. We'll turn this into like a label just by casually cutting the corners. So yeah, I would like to know if I have any crossover audience here that watches Mark Leda. And if you think he's as fascinating as I do. He's published a book. He's published actually I think 3 books now that, you know, share the stories of the people who he interviews. And he's working on another one for this year. And he's also started like a subscription channel because the kind of content that he makes, it often gets demonetized by YouTube because YouTube will see like a keyword and they will think it's, you know, a video, like what's a topic like that, you know, maybe being a mistress. Maybe he will interview someone who works in that field, but then YouTube will think like, oh, this is recommending, you know, or taking advantage of people, you know, and it's not the same thing, but all they can really do, I guess, is look for the keywords and try to police that. But I'm just going to cut another one of these labels, little labels here. My husband just texted me because I told him, like, let me know if the kids are bored and, like, I'll come and we'll go out because I want to go out a little later, but sometimes, you know, if the kids get bored, I'll be like, let's go now. So I just said, let me know. And he's like, he's still playing with his marbles. He's fine. So he loves them. It's good. Okay, so the irises now. You know what I might do with this? So I've got this orange ink. And I like the fact that, you know, or iris, lily, tiger lily. Ooh, that's going to smudge because it's pencil. How can we make this orangey? You know what? Maybe I'll get a spray. Hold on. We'll make this better. Don't worry. Give me 1 sec. Alright, so I'm here with my new grunge box. And this is some spray that I made from an old marker. You can see the marker in there. So let's go ahead and try spraying with orange. That's what I want. Okay, so let this dry for a minute. Be right back again. Okay, so we'll take it out of here. Set my grunge box aside, and then I might try to come in with my kneaded eraser. Yeah, we'll just erase that smudge on the outside. As best we can. Then I've got this fun sparkles paint. I want to come in and add a little sparkles to this with a paintbrush, which hopefully I have one. I've been using all my paintbrushes this morning. I was doing a bunch of painting. Here's one. A little thicker than what I'd like, but we're going to make it work. Just going to come in and add a little of this sparkly paint. You know, because this needs a little bit more zhuzhing up, I think, now. Turning old art into new art. It's so good. Okay, we'll let this dry. And then I'll come back in with some Posca marker, I think, and we'll make it fun. So I'm just going to set this aside to dry. I'll be right back. Alright, so while that's drying, let's go in and make pockets with this, okay? So, let's get the chomper, because I'm going to need pockets for this journal. Seem to cut the threads. There we go. Okay. Oops. Here we go. Those are cut to shape. So now we'll set these aside and we will embellish these pockets. So let's use the rest of these birds as the embellishments for these pockets. So this one is going to be together, separate. I think that we can allow a blue jay in the journal. It'll be okay. So why don't I fussy cut these off camera so you don't have to wait for me to do all that. I'll be right back. Okay, I'm so sorry. I lost a little bit of film because I didn't realize my battery was dying. So anyways, I'll explain what happened. So we backed and fussy cut those, so they're good to go. But then I went and got this and it was dry. So the paint was all there already, right? So what I did was I used a Posca marker and I just colored in the little black dots that I had sketched there. Then I used a Micron 10 marker. I outlined, kind of in a fun way, all of the pencil lines because I drew this with a softer pencil. Then I outlined the flowers. I did the details. Actually, I have a few that I still need to do. That I forgot to do. So I just went over the paint like this, put those details back in because I can see them through the paint from my original drawing. And I also, these little dots, I went over them again in this way because those are the pistils in the center of the flower, these little dots, and I still have a few more to do. So I guess you didn't really miss everything. I still have. Then I'm just drawing from the center a line to each one. Okay. So that's done. Now I need to decide how to turn this into something for the crows. So I've got these little crows that I fussy cut out, and I'm thinking I'd like to put them underneath each of these in a way to kind of, I wish they weren't so close together, but I guess I could do a more free-form shape so I could separate those two pieces. That one would go like that, but that would leave that one a little irregular. I mean, unless I kept them together. You know, we could also make this like a flip, right? That would be possible. And then we can keep the whole width of it. And it would be some extra writing space. So yeah, let's do that. Okay, we'll get this messy side off. I'll put that in my scraps because it's got some good spray on it. Then to be, we can probably get rid of a little of the top here. And I will fold down the top because it'll be a tip up. And I'm going to actually just get rid of a little of the side because I think it'll be a bit wide. And a bit of the bottom has to go. This has to fit inside the journal. This will fit in the Pear Blossom Crow journal I'm doing. Okay, so this, I think what I'll do first is I'll use that background kind of marker that I have to just color it in, get rid of the bright white. And if you're interested in any of these crows that you're seeing, these little guys, they're part of my Etsy collection. It's called Crows and the Little Men Who Love Them, and it's in my shop. Okay. So now we can go back to this, and we can glue these down. I think after this video I'll go out for a walk with the kids because it sounds like they're getting a little wild up there. Okay. I like doing Tuesday 10 when I've kind of got like a theme in mind. That's kind of easier. Not as challenging as our typical Tuesday 10, but I think there's a lot of value in doing that. Yeah, I'm going to put that there. Then I can add, just to mix things up a bit, I'm going to add a few of these little labels, and also it's good because I'm using them up and they've been sitting in my scraps. These are labels from the Junk Journal Studio. I think they are the labels from Days Gone By. I don't remember which collection, but you'll see all her labels are amazing. She's got some really great labels. So I'll put that one there, and then I'll grab one more little label. Okay. So that's a fun like flip up, right? So to go in the journal like that, be some extra writing space. So fun. Okay, now let's make pockets. So we'll start with this one. Cut that messy edge off. And I'm going to add the bird, I think, here so that it kind of is like a regular shape. I'm sorry for the noise if you hear my kids upstairs. They're roaming around at this point. Okay. And sometimes my son gets a little bit like, don't touch my toy to his sister, so there's a bit of that going on for sure. Also just going to use a little bit of my scrap here just to do a little collaging on each of these pockets. Whoops. To add a little interest. Okay. I think that's good. Yeah, that's good. Okay. Next pocket. Maybe the bigger one. And we'll go with maybe this girl here. I'll add her there. But I want to ink around her with some black. Yeah, okay. And I might just trim a tiny bit there. And I'm going to round the corners at the top. Okay. And again, we'll create our own little freeform label here. Okay. That's good. That one's done. Get rid of that sticky paper. Okay. Pull my chair closer because apparently I'm rolling away here. All right, now this one, we'll use this bird. Yep. Okay. See if we can find something interesting from scrap to add to that, maybe. Maybe some of this paper, it's really pretty. My son is screaming about something. Though it doesn't sound like sad screaming, so that's okay. Other forms of screaming are okay. It's probably playing with the dog screaming. Because that's a really exciting thing that goes on in this house is our Rex. He's a very playful big dog, so the kids are usually roaming around with him. He has this like loop kind of toy. It's like this big loop and it's round and rubber and it's like wrapped in this really tough kind of material, and they play tug of war with him and he absolutely loves it. And thankfully he's not like rough, you know, he's not one of those dogs who's like really reefs on it, you know, with the kids. He does this to my husband, but not to the kids, thankfully. It's like he knows the difference, I think. This, I think I want to make like a little sort of side pocket like that. Let's do that. Use the art glitter on this little one, I think. Okay. So I think I will round the top corner here. done. Then this one, this bird is a little stranger looking. It looks almost like a black parrot, but I'm okay with that. Get rid of this paper. Okay. And I think I'll take one of these labels again. This one right here. I also need to go grocery shopping and get a few things today. Okay. Yeah, let's put that on there too. A different shape for the pocket. Okay. Then one more, and we have the blue jay and the stellar jay. I'm going to use on this one, I think. Oh yeah, that's got to go up above a little. That's okay. I will just wipe that excess glue off. Okay, that's that. Now we have, I think, just a couple things left. We've got this and this. So when I think about the crow journals, I think these would actually just be great folio pages. So what I'm going to do is actually just trim them down a little so that they'll fit within the book. That's good. This one definitely needs to be a little less wide. And a little bit off the bottom. Okay, so I'm actually not going to do a whole lot else with these. These are going to go as folio pages into the crow journals. They may end up being like a background page, you know, for a pocket. Like, not this one because it's a little wide, although we can certainly fix that. Make that a little less wide anyways. That's good. You know, so that could end up doing that. We'll see as we get there. So let's take a look at what we made. I don't think I have really stitching to do today. Imagine that, a stitch-free day with me. What's going on? How is that possible? Okay, first I'm just going to put the scraps back in the scrap bin here so they're out of my way, and I can cleanly show you everything by putting my whole mess away and putting my glue pin back in my glue. I need like little magical hands to clean up after me as I go. How do I end up with so many things all the time? And then like I've lost my glue lid somehow, like it's gone missing. You know, I'll find another one though. It's got to be around here somewhere. Okay, let's get started. So we have 1 and 2, those are folios. 3 is our fun tip up. 4 5, 6. Those are the pockets. 7 is that rooster postcard. 8, journal card. 9, our cabinet card. 10, another pocket. 11 and 12 are also pockets. 13, 14, 15 are those tags. And 16 is my little drawing here. So we made 16 pieces today. Wow, awesome. Okay, so that's it for me today for Tuesday 10. I hope you had fun. And I will talk to you again very soon. I hope you have a great Tuesday. Bye for now.